Welcome to More Action, the podcast for entrepreneurs, business owners, and professionals. I'm your host, SheleyBrien, and together we have candid conversations with industry leaders to uncover valuable wisdom and lessons learned. My hope is you use these lessons to intentionally take more action in business and life. I hope you share and enjoy. I'm so glad that you are joining me today for this episode, because this is one that is truly, I think, not talked about enough. So of course you're going to hear it here. But the other thing is that this is something that high achievers, men or women, we struggle with. And sometimes it's like, how do we handle this? What do we do? And it can create a lot of frustration. It can create a lot of anger. It can create fear. And what I want to share with you is my take on how to stop controlling the uncontrollable. Now, let me dive in, and I'm actually going to share a story with you. This is with a client whom I'm used to coach with and still am in touch with. And I shared this on my stories on Instagram. So I hope you're following me on Instagram. I hope that we are connected. Shoot me a DM if you hear this episode and it resonates with you. But this was something that I shared with, I'm not going to share any names, but I shared on my stories as just something like, have you been here? Listen in. And I got so much feedback that I was like, I knew I needed to bring this to the show and share it, because let's just dive in. Let's just get into this. So she is a mom of three. And when I say three, I mean triplets. So while she doesn't own a business, she's not climbing the corporate career, doing all of that, I think it's fair to say that her days are pretty busy with triplets. And I helped, with nutrition and mindset with her. And one day she just was like, I'm really struggling. I'm super low energy. And you know what? I'm just going to actually share the exact conversation that I shared on the story, but through our text message that we had together. And I just said, hey, how are you feeling this week? She said, honestly, I've been struggling, super low energy. I said, why do you think? She's like, I'm not sure. I go, okay, what changed from this week to last? Have you ever had that where all of a sudden you're like, what the hell is going on? I was feeling great one week and now I'm like derailed this week. And she said, nothing. Last week was exhausting because her husband was gone and maybe it's residual is what she was thinking. And then she goes, oh my gosh, I just checked my calendar and it was the previous week that he was gone. So that wasn't her excuse. And I said, okay, well, what's on your mind? What is new that is possibly adding unrecognized stress? And I said, how's your nutrition been? If you've been following along on the show, you know I am a huge advocate for proper nutrition. That doesn't mean dieting. It means proper nutrition. If we expect to operate at high levels, we have to fuel ourselves to be able to do that. So I'm always about nutrition and making sure your tank is full so that you can perform. So of course, I'm going to ask her about that. She said, afternoons have been crazy. That's pretty stressful. Nutrition has been good. And I said, okay. She sends me this meme of like a mom trying to do like, how even mom and or business owner, you are like squirrel and you do like 15 things in a matter of 5 minutes and you didn't finish one thing, but you keep going and going and going. And she said, this is pretty accurate. And I'm like, all the more reason to focus on you. And she goes, I think the afternoons are my struggle. I pick up the kids at 2:45 and then it's a mad dash to get homework done before activities start. Each kiddo needs help and there's only one of me. Then after activities, it's rush to dinner, showers, etc. I hate it. So she said, each kiddo needs help and there's only one of me. If you don't have kids, but you have a team that you're managing, you could see the comparison here, right? Each person needs something from her and there's only one of her. And I said, I totally get it. I said, what can you control in your afternoons? That was my question to her. You notice I'm not sharing like what she should do. You should do this. I'm trying to help her see it. And this is where so much of our success is not only tied to our health, but it is tied to our mindset. So again, my question to her was, what can you control in your afternoons? She said, that's the tricky part. There's a lot more I can't control. I've been having the dinners figured out and mostly ready before picking up the kids after school. I can't control their moods, how much homework they have, how long it takes them to get through it, etc. That's what makes it stressful. So again, notice all these different things. You can't control the mood of your team. You can't control how fast they complete a project or a task. So my question again was, what can you control though? And her response, spot on. I can control my reaction to these things. I said, exactly. When you feel out of control, it means you're trying to control things that you do not have control of. I go, even with your kids, you can really only control you. Now sit with that for 1 second before I finish this out. I'm reading this text verbatim. Okay. And again, if you were on my story, you could have read it too, because she let me share it. Of course, I had her name for privacy reasons, but I love that she said, I can control my reaction to these things. So when you feel like things are out of control, you're trying to control things that you never had control of in the beginning. And even with our kids, you really can't control them, right? So if you are a team leader, right? If you're running a business and you have a team, or if you're a manager in an organization and you have your team, you really can't control them, right? You can't. I mean, sure, you can set up boundaries, you can set up workflow orders, you can create SOPs, but at the end of the day, it's not like you can sit there and make them do all these different things. And so her response was, so I just need to accept my afternoons are stressful. My response, in reality, life is stressful. It's hard to change that, but you can change how you show up for it. Are you going to let it create your mood, or are you going to create the mood in the stressful situations? No way am I saying this is easy, but it is a choice, and you have full control over your choice and how you decide to show up in any situation. Literally verbatim what I sent her. So let's dive into this for a minute. And maybe you're sitting here like nodding your head too. I've been through this. This is the only reason why I am able to help her work through this. This is one of the topics that I speak on when I speak in front of any audiences, is because so often we want to control things that we do not have control of. And, you know, I guess buzzkill or the answer is you. You truly only have control over you in any situation. And so when you're going throughout your week, and maybe you look at your week, I look at my week on Sunday and I try to plan it out. Of course, you know, planning some things, I have wiggle room for when things explode. With running businesses, a construction business, to kids, to animals, it never really goes as planned. But when I start feeling out of control, when I'm like, what the hell? Like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe this. And I'm trying to figure out what's going on in my day. Like, why am I getting so anxious? Why am I getting so angry? Why am I getting fearful of events that are going on? It's that feeling of out of control. And of course, right? Like, I'm calling out us control freaks. Of course I am. We're the ones that are trying to achieve great things. And so when I feel out of control, it's a key indicator to me that I am trying to control situations, events, other people, which are not in my control. And so that is the very reason I feel out of control. And that's what was going on with my friend and my old past client, is she was trying to control all these things that she's right, she did not have control of. And are afternoons stressful? Heck yeah. Is running a business stressful? Yep. Is life hard? Yep, it's hard. But it doesn't mean that I throw up my hands. It doesn't mean that I still try to I try to control things that I don't, and they actually cause more stress. That's the key indicator. Whoa, I need to back off. And so when I have that feeling, here is the one thing that I always do is that I ask myself, what can I control? And you can add, what can I control in this situation? What can I control based on the information that I have? Now, again, here's the answer. You can control how you react to news, to someone not meeting a deadline, to you winning a client, to you losing a client. You can control how you react. You can control your thoughts. You can control how you respond. You can control how you show up. You can control what lessons you're going to learn and apply. Once you truly get that feeling, and I hope you heard it even in this text stream, her response to what I said was heart emojis. She got it. It is the most freeing thing that you can do, is because when you feel out of control, ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? The answer is you. But what do you want to control about you in that situation? Do I want to control how I respond to this employee that did not meet a deadline or that misspoke and cost the company money or what have you? How do I want to respond in that situation? It is so freeing. That's what I hope that you get from this, is that actually by coming back to the thing that you can control, which is you, it is the most freeing mindset, because you release what you cannot control and you focus on what you can. And this is where the growth comes from. This is where you separate yourself. I'm sure we've all been there at different points in our career where we're wanting to, promote somebody or bring someone up or promote ourselves. And we're going only to get disappointed. And you have a choice. How do I want to show up? Do I want to show up that I'm disappointed and pissed off? Or do I want to show up as the bigger person? Do I want to control my mood? Do I want to separate myself from everybody else that could have been going for this position or creating this business? How do I want to show up? And a lot of times you can even forward think, what do I want others to remember me by? How do I want to change this process? Because I'm going to control how I do it. So I hope that by sharing this, it gave you like a little bit of freedom, because there is freedom in only focusing on what you can control, which is you. And so I'm going to leave you with 3 little questions. I gave you the first main one. Whenever you're feeling out of control, stop. Just stop and say, what can I control in whatever is going on? The answer is you. Then you get to decide how you leave your mark in that situation. But you can also ask, did I show up the way I hoped? Because sometimes we're human and it doesn't work that way. And so if you didn't show up the way that you wanted, what did you learn? What did you learn about yourself? Did you maybe need to take a quick 2 minutes, let me step out of the office, compose myself, come back, my thoughts are gathered, and respond this way? And then how can I prepare and be ready for the next time? Because like I said in the beginning, and like I shared with my friend in that text message, life is hard. It's stressful. And each time that you stop and ask, what can I control? It's another rep in you becoming better in those stressful or challenging situations. And so how can I prepare to be ready the next time? Because guess what? It's life and it's coming. Again, I hope that this just shared, look, this is life. This is a real conversation. If you've ever felt like you're out of control, I hope that this just arms you with something to get you back into what you can control, which is you. And if you've ever talked to a friend that maybe has felt like the text message I shared, I really hope that you share this with them. Men, women, everyone could benefit from this. And I think the more that we take ownership in controlling ourselves, holy cow, the more freeing it becomes on your outcomes in your business, in your health, in your relationships, in everything. So please share this out. I hope that by sharing this, it's helped you and you can do the best thing and pay it forward and help someone else. Don't forget, come back twice a week. I'm dropping an interview episode as well as these solo episodes to help you excel and share these little life lessons so we can all pay it forward.